this organization for 20 something years, meditating and studying. And in this center, about 3 years. This is part of an international network of schools where we teach meditation and all different practices to grasp higher consciousness. And these Thursday night sessions are all different kinds of topics. And tonight is on the tyranny of have to. Anyone has that problem? I have to. I have to. I have to. I have to. Do you sometimes feel that you're acting under compulsion? That you're acting whilst you actually would prefer to be or do something else? You have that feeling? What are what are those circumstances? So today we're going to little bit explore the dynamics of uh, conditioned behavior, conditioned belief systems, and how can we break through these things? How can we act maybe more aligned with what our heart says? More aligned with what we think is more useful? Yeah. So maybe all of you can start and share a little bit. When are these compulsive feelings coming up that you see there? When do you feel you have to? And then we take it from there. Anyone? A deadline. A deadline. Work-related deadlines. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When there is fear of punishment, then you feel you have to. When you're wanting to be courageous and try something new, then this voice says, no, you have to be safe, play it safe. Anyone else? The pressure of modernization. I have to do things that do not naturally, easily flow. Okay, yeah. You feel you have to fit in. Very good. You have to fit in. Mm. Anyone else? I have to make a lot of sacrifices as a parent for the children. Hmm. Anyone else? You don't have any have tos? Liliana? From the moment you wake up, I have to get up, I have to go to the gym, I have to go to the job, I have to eat healthy. Hmm? 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 I have to go to work. Any other thoughts? So, this tyranny of have to. I have to make a certain amount of money. I have to make a certain amount of money. Hmm. What is the opposite of have to? Very good. Have to is opposite to want to is good, but want to sounds bit spoiled or self-centered. But how could you phrase it differently? The opposite of have to. Very good. So want to, but that is a bit choose to. What else? Compel is the same as have to. No? You write it like that? Compel, compelled to. The same as have to. What is the opposite? Hmm? Very good. I love to. I love to eat healthy. I love to go to the gym. I love to use my skills at work. What is another opposite? No, that is same as have to. Interesting, no? How our thinking is and how our conditioning is. Very good. I enjoy to. I enjoy to go to the gym. I enjoy to use my creativity at work. I enjoy to eat healthy. I enjoy getting up in the morning and entering into a new day. Liliana looking at me and she said, I also enjoy my bath. Anything else? It is a pleasure to. Uh, pleasure to. You get to feel of the difference. Now, what can help us shift from here back to here? Or maybe we should first look at what makes us feel this way about things. Obligation. But why do we feel we are uh, under compulsion to do certain things? We Very good. We don't understand, or we have never asked ourselves the ultimate purpose of what we are doing. We are just doing things because everyone does it. Because from small we were taught this is what you do. We have never really reflected on why we do what we do. Isn't it? Hmm? To make your life better. Now, don't you love to make your life better? Don't you love to make your life better? Don't you choose to make your life better? Don't you want to make your life better? So then why is it such a burden? That we feel we have to. It is expected. You're expected. Hmm? To punish yourself, making yourself better by punishing yourself. Not fully understanding it, but yeah, maybe. Anyone else? What is the purpose of the things that we do and we feel we have to? Hmm. Hmm. And so we don't like to go through the hardship, but we do it anyway. Hmm. But can't we learn without it being a hardship? Hardship? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 But how can we change this have to, feeling compelled to, into choose to? Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. The pressures we feel and the thoughts and feelings we have, it has to do with our perspective, our broader perspective. And that is where I was saying many of us, we never really properly reflect on why we do what we do and what is the deeper or higher aim behind. And maybe we should, if we don't want to live under this tyranny of have to, being compelled by conditioned ideas. No? Now, first of all, if we have a mindset, if we have a mindset that functions from fear or insecurity, or feeling of lacking, feeling of needing, then we will always feel we have to do certain things. If we live in a mindset, you were saying, no, where there is joy, where there is fullness, where there is contentment, what happens then? Hmm? Yeah, then you enjoy to express. You don't feel you are pushed. You don't feel you are compelled to. You don't feel you need to, but you enjoy doing it. Understand the difference? Because the same thing you can do. No, you can be cooking, for example, a simple example. You're cooking. You can be cooking out of, I need to cook, I have to feed this body, they are expecting me to cook. They are demanding from me that I cook, so I have to prepare for everyone some. And if I don't do what they say, or if I don't do what they want, they will not love me. So I feel insecure. I want their love. I need to please them. You can cook in that mindset. You can also cook in this mindset. I love the family. I enjoy. Yeah. Yeah. And it is, um, you love to take care of the body. This is your gift from nature, so you love to take care of the body, you love to take care of others. You love to play with vegetables. You love to play with pots. Do the dance in the kitchen. And then it is just an expression of that joy. Is that too much out of this world? It makes sense, at least. Now, what is the reason of this difference? Yeah, that very good. That is one definite thing. One, this one sees a very limited perspective. How I feel now, what I want now, and this one sees a bigger perspective. What else? Excellent. Fear and insecurity is driven by external things or even by the body. It is not driven by the inner being. This is more from the inside out, and this is from the outside in. Is it a bit understandable? Now, deeper behind, what can help shift this is to ask yourself, how do you perceive life? What is your idea of life in general? What is the purpose of life? You could also say. Happiness, peace, loving. When are we, as human beings in general, when we are enjoying things? Hmm? Enjoy. When are we, as human beings in general, from small onwards, when you look at children, when are we naturally happy? Hmm? When things go your way? Not necessarily. Hmm? When we are free to be ourselves, when we're living in the present. Anyone else? Liliana? And there's no fear of future. When we are playing, when we are playing, from small onwards, and babies, we naturally play. When we come in this world, we naturally play. And it is not because we want something or we need something. It is like our nature to play. Now, a baby, okay, not when he's hungry, then he cries. But apart from that, he plays naturally. There's some toy there, and if he can't have a toy, he will play with his toes and feet, and or with mother's nose or hair, no, whatever, or his cushion. No, as we come into this world, we naturally play. But on the way of growing up, we lose that what is it? Mm, that playfulness. We lose that almost that temperament of playing. And people who maintain that spirit, they are more happy generally. Not necessarily because they are successful or because they have big achievements or because they are famous, but because they have maintained the spirit of game and of playing. And we forget that. And that is why we artificially have to have parties and whatever and games, or we have to get together to play a game or so, because we have lost the potential to see and to use life as a game. And I see this within myself. Sometimes in the morning when I'm reminded of this, and you are in this, and then everything is like a wow, just like children. Children, a cockroach come, ah. They, they are, oh wow, fly comes, wow, flying. Some plant, everything is like a toy. Another child come, wow, to play. A dog comes, there's another thing, wow, to play. A fish is there, oh, this is to play. Everything is to play. Yeah, yeah. But we kind of, and I see that in myself sometimes. In a day, in the morning, you get up and you kind of have that spirit. And then somehow during the day, we get in this seriousness that is so unnatural. And then everything becomes a burden. Someone places something there and not like this, it is a problem. You can't find something, that becomes a problem. Someone doesn't say hello, it becomes a problem. Rain is a problem. Sun is a problem. Mist is a problem. Snow is everything becomes a problem. Train is a minute late is a problem. Everything becomes a problem because we have lost that spirit of playing. Yes. Yeah. Mm. But even the past, no, we we see and we look at things with that seriousness, whether it is past, whether it is present, whether it is future. No? And if we can look at the whole thing with the spirit of play, then the past also becomes wonderful because it helps me to learn. Isn't it? You wanted to say something? Mm. And it is interesting, no? If if we have the spirit of game, we are relaxed. But in that state, we can actually perform better. No, we have a friend, and he used to be a professional. How do you call this? Soccer player. Hmm. And he says the games that he performed best. He used to play national level. He says professional. He the games that he performed best were the games that he enjoyed most and were the games where he had the spirit of game. And even any kind of play. Now, in a game, it is not that you are lazy and don't do anything. Actually, in a game, you are more alert. In a game, it is not that you don't refine and train your skills. Actually, you are more at the tip of your, what is it, your chair. But you're doing it with a different spirit. In a game, it is not so that your opponent was, oh, let me give her a break. I'll do something easy for her. No, your opponent actually will also bring out the best. Hmm? So you have to be at your best. But there is the spirit of game. Now, human beings, we are made to play. And when we don't play, we become sick. When we don't play, we be when we don't play, it means actually, no, in the medical world, in pediatrics, the sign that a child is sick, the first sign that a child is sick, is when the child stops playing. Mother knows. The playing stops. So you could say we are sick because we have stopped playing. Exactly. Exactly. And this have to is a sign that we are still doing, but we have stopped playing. And this have to means we have certain conditioned patterns in our thinking, certain belief systems that spoil our game spirit. Hmm? Yeah. So let's take one of those patterns. Which one? I have to. Have to what? Eat healthy. Is that a good one? Or should we find another one? Eat healthy. Why do we feel we have to eat healthy? Because the doctor tells us. Because our blood pressure is high. Because our sugar is too high. Because we have to lose weight. Because others tell us you are too fat. Because we tell ourselves I am too fat and others will not love me because my body is too fat. Few more reasons, because on television and on the Facebook apps everybody looks so glamorous and I am ashamed to take a picture myself. So I have to eat healthy. What else? I have to eat healthy, otherwise I will die young. Another one. Huh? So this is the I have to. How can we change that thinking pattern? Why? Yeah. How can you make eating healthy into a game? How can you make it into a game? Because even I will look good is not a game. Even I will look good can be behind it, I need others to acknowledge me. I need others to validate. I need others to say you are beautiful. I need others to say I love you because your body is so nice. A good player is not aware of the spectators. A good player plays the game and entertains the spectator but is not dependent on the spectators or their opinion. And what is very useful to know is they will give their opinion anyway, true or not true, in your benefit or not in your benefit. They will anyway. And the best opinionators, they are the ones who are just watching and doing nothing. And most of the time, they don't even truly know how you feel and what you feel. They just have their opinion ready. There is a nice story about this. You like stories? There is a story of Nasruddin. Nasruddin is a character from the Middle East, and he is shown as a wise man, but he is also a little bit funny, let's say. So Nasruddin one day decided he has to sell his donkey. So he goes to the market and he takes his grandson with him. But the sun is boiling hot, shining on their head. So they walk, and in those cultures there are people on the street, and they are like the street philosophers. Every corner there is a group, they play domino or whatever, some game they play, but everyone who walks past, they give their unsolicited advice. So this group of philosophers tell to Nasruddin, Nasruddin, what's wrong with you? You have a donkey and you're walking in this hot sun. So Nasruddin said, these people are intelligent. So he climbs on the donkey. And one more block, another group of philosophers, they say, Nasruddin, what is wrong with you? You are sitting comfortably on the donkey and your poor grandson has to walk. What is this? So he comes off the donkey and he puts the grandson on the donkey. And they go one more block, another group. They say, Nasruddin, what is wrong with you? You're not teaching manners to the youth. Your grandson sitting comfortably and you having to walk. What is this? So he says, these people are right, intelligent. So he climbs up on the donkey also. So both grandson and Nasruddin on the donkey. But they have one more group of philosophers to pass. And they say, Nasruddin, what is wrong with you? This poor donkey, his stomach is on the floor and both of you sitting comfortably on the donkey. What is this, abusing animals? You know, he's a little bit fed up. He gets off the donkey. Grandson also get off the donkey and says, you take the front legs of the donkey and I take the hind legs, and they carry the donkey to the market. But this is what happens in our life. You do one thing, someone will say something. You do something else, another one has something to say. You do nothing, someone else has something to say. You do 10 times, someone else will have to say. Nothing, there is always something to say. True? So why bother? You find out what you have to do and you do it. And those who are truly, truly your well-wishers, those who truly, truly are free, you listen to them. But still, don't stop thinking for yourself what needs to be done. Hmm? Okay, so I have to eat healthy. How can I make eating healthy a game? Very good. If I eat healthy, body will feel more but good, and then I will feel better. But why would that be a game? Work faster. We're already in a trap again. Mm. Mhm. Yeah. You get out of feelings of lethargy. Mm. Very good. Mm. Mm. But how can you do it as a game? Because we want to come out of the compulsion. No, because that was we all know we will feel better. We all know body will look better. We know that we all of that know, but still we feel we have to. Yeah, how do you make it a game? Yeah. Mm. Mm. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. But it is interesting. No, it is such a simple thing, but still we are so stuck in the have to mentality. Yeah, yeah, very good. Then you're making it in a game. Very good. Yeah, find methods. Yeah, to as if approach it from a different angle. Not I have to eat healthy, But eating healthy is playing with food. There is one way you can say. Eating healthy helps me use this toy more enjoyably. No? Yeah, excellent. Anyone else? Yeah, 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 yeah. Very good, very good. It is just to show the contrast of this tyranny of have to. And at this moment in time, many people, they feel so bogged down because of this have to, this have to, this have to. And you were saying also, we all the whole day from the time we get up, we feel we have to. We have to get up. We have to have coffee. We have to dress like this. We have to take the subway. We have to go to work. We have to deal with these people at work. Yeah. Yes, that is also, but we also there was a certain wiring that takes place, and we are now wired to think that all these things are actually boring or tiring or unpleasant. We are not in that game mindset anymore. Whilst when we were little, I don't know about you, but when we were little, sometimes I would have the feeling that I can't wait to uh, um, grow up. But that was with that feeling of play, that feeling of exploring, that feeling of, wouldn't it be nice to try all these different things? But then when we are there, you have lost it. You have lost it. So just trying to get back to that point. What is happening in our mind? That we lose that childlike approach. And how can we regain that childlike approach? Not childish, but that childlike approach to life. Now, say there is this baby. Let's say normal, general situation. Baby is there and he approaches the world. I don't know how to draw. This is baby. Baby sees the world. Hmm? And so baby is small and he's crawling and he encounters a ant. What will he do? Play. He encounters a rat. What will he do? He will play. He encounters a bottle. What will he do? He will play. He will encounter a spoon. He will play with the spoon. Encounters marbles. He will play. A ball, a little car, anything he can get, he will play with. So in that stage, anything is nice. No? Interesting, nice, fun. Hmm? And then when he grows up, what happens? Say he has a little car or a toy train. So this is nice, he plays with it, it's nice, he plays with it, he plays with it 1 week, he plays with it 2 weeks, he plays with it 3 weeks, he plays with it 3 years, and then another little one comes, another brother comes. And that one also starts to crawl, and he's been playing with his nice toy train for 4 years now. And now this little one also crawls. What will he say? My train. And what happens when that my comes in? happens then? Huh? Don't touch. So then my and then don't touch. Why? Why brother cannot touch? Because brother might say my train, and then he, how do you lose? 1-0 or 2-0? Oh, he does not like to lose. But when he was here, he wasn't bothered about that. But after 4 years playing with the train, this train has become my train. And then we become scared to lose. And when we feel threatened that we can lose, then it is not a game anymore. Because when we are when there is fear to lose, we are insecure. And then we're in that other mindset. Then we're in the needy mode, in the beggar mode. And then we create needs and desires. And it just becomes more and more. And then everything becomes serious. Even if his little brother just looks at the train, he already gets annoyed. He wants my train. So one very clear signal that we are losing the spirit of game is when we enter into I and mine. Because deeper inside, it is not just my train. Deeper inside, he starts to feel this train is part of me. And if I lose that train, something of me is lost. Something of my value is lost. And then the game changes into war. Yeah. No, very good. The game changes into war. Because deeper inside now I will feel that my existence, my status, my value is at stake. And all that happened from here to here is we entered into this sense of possession and ownership. Understand? Do we do this in New York City? And the moment you get into that sense of ownership and mine, then you cannot enjoy the game anymore. And maybe this is where our approach to life in general also has gone wrong. Right. One thing is the little train, the toy train, but we do this with everything, with everything. Now the spiritual perspective is, time goes so fast when you're having fun. The spiritual perspective is that you are a spiritual being. And a spiritual being, it just means you are not a physical being. You are a being of consciousness, and we use the image of light to indicate that a being that has the capacity to experience, a being that has the capacity to think, a being that has the capacity to choose and make decisions, a spiritual being with innate qualities. And this being at some stage enters the physical world, if this is the physical world. The physical world includes the moon and the Mars and the universe and the trees and the animals and bodies and objects. So this is the physical world. And this being enters the physical world and at some stage leaves the physical world again. No? Now this being can play the game of life or can get sucked into it. And sucked in means if this being, the soul is another word, no, for the being of consciousness or for the experiencer. The experiencer comes here and gets a beautiful toy. A very sophisticated toy. Isn't it? This body? You can't buy it anywhere. It's so sophisticated they can't make it. Nature gives it to you to play with for a little while. No? So nature gives you this beautiful toy to play with. To play the game of life. Now part of the game is to take care of that toy. Now when someone gives, you get the toy, parents give a toy, the child doesn't go and break the toy. Child plays with the toy, enjoys the toy, but also treats it properly. No? Same way, this toy, if you treat it well, you can enjoy more playing the game. Isn't it? So there is like a manual for how to treat this toy. And in the manual it says, eat healthy. Don't too much ketchup and and oil. And no. So then that is the manual of the toy. And that toy helps you to play the rest of the game. But what happens with us? What happens? We start saying mine. And we start saying mine to others also. And we start saying mine to things here. Now you have come here to play the game and you will go. Anything here really yours? Even this body, not yours? Not truly, isn't it? Nature has offered it to you on loan to play the game. Somebody give you a bat to play with. You don't say my bat. You borrowed the bat to play the game, isn't it? Now, if it is not mine, then I cannot lose, isn't it? So this is a game where everything is extra and you cannot lose anything. Where is space for have to if you are in this mindset? Is there space for have to in this mindset? There is, this is a true story, and I often tell this story about a mother who comes with her 2 children. And this mother comes to learn to meditate. And the 2 children, they get some toys to play with. A 6-year-old boy and a 3-year-old boy. And so there are a truck and some trains and cars. So the big one runs and he grabs the truck. And he says, Mama, Mama, mine, 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 mine. And mother says, no, it's not yours. You can play with it, but it's not yours. So he starts crying. My truck, I want my truck. So his brother comes and he takes some cars and train and he plays and he's happy. So after 1 hour, meditation class is finished. They have to go. And mother says, okay, let's go home. So the big one says, my truck, my truck. Mother says, no, 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 not your truck. You leave it here. So he starts crying louder. The little one, he's happy. He had a good time 1 hour and he's going happy with mother. So 1 hour miserable and the other 1 hour happy playing. And at the end of the hour, both they have to go. So what happened? What is the difference? And actually, if he didn't get into this delusion of mind, he could have played with his brother and they could have a good time both together. Enjoying the train and the cars and the truck both together. But now because he holding on to the truck, sitting and crying 1 whole hour, he has a miserable time and his brother can't play with the truck. Sounds familiar? We adults, we just have different toys. But attitude is the same. If we want to come out of this this tyranny, explore this mindset of a game. We've forgotten that we are spiritual beings, that we are visitors, and that everything here is like extra, such a sophisticated toy to play with. The soul in itself doesn't need anything to exist. But you can play the game and share the joy of playing the game with each other. And in a game, the game doesn't mean there are no challenges. A good game actually has good challenges. That is how you show your skills and your training and your what is it? Your abilities. No? Isn't it? There was some time ago. There was a cricketer, actually Australian cricket. This was in the 90s. He was a fast bowler. I forgot his name. But he was a truck driver come cricket player. And everyone was scared of him. All the batsmen, they were scared of him because he used to throw the ball so hard. Many of them would get hit injury because they didn't see the ball. And there were how do you call it? The United Kingdom Games? How do they? Commonwealth Games, cricket. So the Australian team went to London and this reporter interviews him and says, don't you feel bad? He said, why? Because your fast bowling creates so much injuries of your colleagues. He's a bit, a simple truck driver. He says, why? They have a bat, they have to use it. I have a ball, I use it. It's their duty to learn to deal with the bat properly. So he's saying, I have this toy to play with, and I do it well. They have their tools, they should use them well. So life is little bit like that. We are in this game, and you get tools and toys. Play it well. Because sometimes you get fast bowlers some balls are thrown at you. But a good batsman, I don't know if you know a little bit. I don't know cricket too much, but baseball I'm a bit more familiar with. But a good batsman uses the strength and the energy and the power of the, the, the pitcher. Because if you hit the ball at the right moment, in the right angle, all the effect and all the strength that is put in that ball will go the other side. And then they have to deal with that ball now. So same way, life throws some balls at you. You have to find out how to hit them exactly right so that you score. And eating healthy is not even that big a ball. not that not. Now, what we can do through the process of meditation, through the process of spiritual knowledge and growing into spiritual knowledge, become more and more familiar with this perspective. Cultivate this approach to life. Cultivate this sense of who we are. Spiritual beings, non-physical beings, souls with higher potential, with divine potential. And we have come here and approached this life as a game. Just like that child. Cockroach come, oh wow. Ant comes, oh wow. Bottle, oh wow. Sun, oh wow. Rain is another wow. I don't know if you had, but before when it used to rain, we would be happy as children because you go out and you splash. When the sun, you are also happy because something else you can do. Anything is like you use the creativity to make it into a game. Anything. When you play with stones, you make a game of it. Marbles, you make a game of it. Cycling is a game. Walking is a game. Running is a game. Anything becomes like a game if you use that spirit. And we all have that part in us. It has just, what is the word we have? We have gone into that illusion of mine and ownership, which ultimately is not even based on truth, because nothing here truly is mine. We have it on loan. Yeah, we become attached and we start identifying. It is just deeper signals of the illness. When we said in the beginning, sign that a child is sick is when it stops playing. Sign that the soul is sick is when we stop experiencing the game. And things become serious. And we do that with everything. You get a position, then it becomes my position. And then you have to do everything to hold on to it. Have to. Then game is lost. Because anything and anyone becomes a threat then. And when things are a threat, it is not a game, it is war. And if we are living under this yuck, they say like that, this burden of war our whole life, how do we feel? Traumatized. Traumatized and helpless and weak. And then where is all that higher potential with which we came? That is innately there. And then we start telling ourselves, oh, this is normal. And we start telling ourselves, everybody is like that. And then we start telling ourselves, this is life. Hmm? Very good. Yeah, yeah. And it also means we do not understand the natural flow of things. Now, for example, these flowers, they are nice and they are beautiful. But I know next week they won't be there. Now, if I expect them to be there next week, what will happen? I will be disappointed. If I fight them to not decay, what will happen? I will lose. That is not the nature of things. So this whole game has this element of change, constant change. And it changes unpredictably also. So we cannot rely on this game for our security. That doesn't come from the game. That comes from who we are innately, eternally. Okay. Any final comments? Want to say anything or ask anything? Would you like to share something? We have a visitor from Australia. I'm putting her on the spot now. You don't have to. She's been traveling and little bit jet lagged still, but um, so anyone else want to say anything? Vandana? Yeah. Yeah. Because we have become so sucked into this wanting, needing, mine, and even identifying, so that we feel that if this body grows old, I am old. This body becomes useless, I am useless. No, you are that spiritual being that transcends the limitations of this. And this is a toy. And toy is nice and toy is very useful and there is gratitude playing with it, but when it is not being able to play with, fine. You come out of this mindset yourself, and then how you are approaching life, at least she can see the contrast. And then some of that energy might rub off on her. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. 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 More natural. Mm. Mm. All these dynamics are there, no? Everyone in their own life, in their own way, has many different dynamics. But what this experiment that spirituality offers is you don't change all that, but you shift your perspective and then play with that. Yeah. But definitely, there are all kinds of, and new generations bring different ideas, different energy, different way of doing things, different interests also. Yeah. Okay, but time is there. So shall we? Mhm. Mm. Self-love was lost before already. Self-love is lost when we shift from that nice and fun and playfulness into I want and to I need. And when I want and I need, then I have to do all those set of things. And then my approach to life is have to. But we have already lost. love for the self. We have lost concept even of who I truly am. No, that spiritual being, that is lost. Now we identify as the toy. we ide- yeah, true self-love is knowing the self as a spiritual being and appreciating the beauty and the potential of that being. Mm. No, because this word self-love, first of all, we need to figure out who is self. True self. True self is not this. True self is that spiritual being. No, and so giving love to the body is not that it is not good. You need to appreciate the body and treat it properly. But treating the body properly is not really loving the self, because self is not the body. And then we say to others, I love you, meaning I love the bodily being. No, the spiritual being. But that is another lecture. We'll go into that another time. Okay, let's close with a moment of. So let us just come back to some basic practice. You bring your attention here and now in this moment. And just be very aware of the position of the body, of how the feet touch the floor, and straighten the back. Let the breathing be natural. Become aware of how the heartbeat. This is such a beautiful toy, this body. And if we truly see it, understanding the truth of it, we would appreciate it so much. Eyes are miracles. Mouth is a miracle. Hands are miracles. Beautiful toy to play with. But I also become aware of the one who is using the toy, playing with the toy. The inner being, the one sitting behind the eyes, the one listening through the ears, the soul, spiritual self, the being of light, the being of consciousness, the one who is playing the game of life. And we just pause for a moment and reflect on this, the real self, this inner being. The one who transcends the limitations of the body. The experiencer. And we just familiarize ourselves with the energy of this inner being. The conscious soul, the self. And we hold this image of a tiny star who is like a presence, living, playful, innocent being of light. A timeless being, a being of light. And I just remind myself that I am that soul. I have come from a different dimension and I've come here. And my natural nature is to play. And this is a sophisticated game. I don't need anything from the game. It is just extra. We don't have to anything. We can choose to. We can learn, we can grow, we can enjoy, we can play. That is our choice. Or we can be in bondage to limited beliefs, to limiting conditionings, to ideas that put us in bondage. And then the experience will be of war. But let us just come back to that original, clean, pure nature of self. Calm, serene, pure, innocent, free, being of light. And as we go through the rest of the evening, let us play with this thought. Invisible star who is a player of the game of life.